Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, gunmen abduct two siblings in Abuja. Student of Bethel High School regains freedom 2 years after abduction. Labour to embark on strike Wednesday over attack on Ajero. On the foreign scene, Rwandan government announces visa-free travel for Africans. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. We begin with security matters. Gunmen in the early hours of Thursday abducted two siblings at Moko community located off Dutse Buari Highway in the Buari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Moko community hosts some mining sites within the area council.
The attack took place within one compound where the two victims, a male and a female sibling, were abducted. The landlord, Michael Waipo Silva, explained details of the incident.
So we both are night shift. So we were not at home when the incident occurred, only to find out in our group chat that something like kidnapper is in our compound. They've destroyed, they took two sisters away. So at the morning, we now came and saw that it was real, that even my uterus was broken, and they checked that there was nobody in before they now took, maybe they now came to this other place, my neighbor's place, and took the two siblings, a boy and a girl. So luckily for the guy now escaped on his way. So according to the sisters and the brother, they say they are asking for a ransom of 100 million.
The chief of the community, Ibrahim Y. Dangana, said this is the first time that such attack is happening within the community.
Our local government chairman has been trying all his possible best to see how he can bring the end of this situation that it has been happening. Many villages have been affected, and we are also trying to, our present FCT minister has also been trying to see how to bring the end of this thing.
Buari is one of the councils in the FCT that's been affected by the kidnappers' attacks in recent times.
Joint troops of the Nigerian Army and operatives of the Department of State Services have successfully averted a planned attack on Kano by insurgents in a drone raid operation carried out on the terrorist hideout in the early hours of Friday, November 3rd. This was contained in a statement signed by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu. According to the statement, the troops of 3 Brigade Nigerian Army, in close cooperation with the DSS, conducted a well-coordinated raid operation in Gezawa local government area of Kano State. The operation, according to the statement, was aimed at uncovering and apprehending suspected Boko Haram terrorists believed to be planning a major operation in Kano State. The statement added that the troops apprehended 2 suspected Boko Haram members who are now in custody. The Joint Task Force, the Joint Troops, had recovered 5 AK-47 rifles, 5 magazines, 1 rocket-propelled gun, RPG, 5 RPG bombs, 6 hand grenades, 5 pairs of desert camouflage uniforms, 10 pairs of magazine pouches, and some improvised explosive device making materials. Now, the family of the Bethel High School student Treasure Ayuba, who was kidnapped along with 100 students of the school, have been overwhelmed by joy following the release of their son after over 2 years in captivity. Bandits had in July 2021 invaded the school, abducting over 100 students who were later released, with Treasure being the only student held by the kidnappers. Trust TV's Bello Musa visited the family residence to capture the mood.
It was a perfect reunion on a day his parents thought he was never going to come. Treasure Ayuba is home at last. The family can only express gratitude to God for the return of their son after more than 2 years.
So me seeing him yesterday, I couldn't even believe my eyes. Like, I was not even sure if it is Treasure that I saw. Because when he came, it was my younger sister that was in the parlor. She knocked. Me, I was inside. Then she was like, I heard her talking to someone, but I don't really know who she was talking to. Then immediately she now shouts my name. And I came out. I saw Treasure. She was like, Treasure, Treasure. When I came out, I saw him. I was like, is this Treasure? Because I saw him, like, he doesn't look like my Treasure that I know. So I was like, Treasure, are you the one? He now said yes. Treasure, the first thing he now asked me, he said, Mommy, how is your leg? Because when they kidnapped him, I had an accident. Like, it was just 3 weeks. So immediately we heard the news. I have to like force myself to walk. And that incident really affected my leg to the extent that if I'm walking, you will notice it's like I'm limping.
We as a family, we have had mixed feelings, and it got to a point that we're almost giving up, thinking he's not alive.
Treasure's mother described his escape from the terrorist den as miracle from God.
He was very, very tired. He now told me that he managed to escape. And even when he came out, like, it was early in the morning, like, he tried to like hide from the people because there were people in the bush. He were hearing noise, like, he now hide. Yeah, it was early in the morning. He now came out. He saw those hunters that were going to the bush. They now asked him that, where is he coming from? He explained everything to them. Then they now asked him that, here, where is he staying? He now said, Refinery Junction. They now said, you don't know where is Refinery Junction. Then the other, like, between them now, they were talking. Then the other, like, they just helped him. They looked for a car that will bring him back to Kaduna. They now told the driver that he should just try and help him so that he'll be able to trace his house. So normally, before they kidnapped him, I didn't take him to market, like this Sabu market. So it was when he got to Sabu market, he now knew that, like, where he is, the environment he is, he knew that place. That is when he now took Keke down to the house.
Over the years, there have been speculations around Treasure's continued stay in captivity, with many opining that he might have development Stockholm syndrome, a situation where a victim develops sympathy for their kidnapper. His family, while dispelling the speculation, say his return is evidence enough.
In fact, the first day I heard that story, I was shocked, like, whose child, like, there is no way a child will tell his parent, no matter how, like, even if he's not getting what he really wants, like, he's not getting what he wants from his parents, there is no child that will say he doesn't want to stay with his parent. Like, for once, like, even when he was having the opportunity to call us, for a once, he has never told any of us that he doesn't want to come back. Instead, the way he will be answering us, you know that someone is standing behind him. He's not even free.
The chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State Chapter, Reverend Joseph Hayab, says Treasure will receive the psychosocial help he needs as part of his rehabilitation process.
2 years, 4 months is not 1 week. People who stay with bandits for just 30 days come and life looks different. Talk of 2 years, 4 months. So our prayer and our hope is we will help in the rehabilitation of the young man. We will, in case they have radicalized him, we will also work on that aspect. We will take every step. We will use experts. We will use our spiritual knowledge. We will use experts in different fields just to help him come out of it and then think about his education.
Treasure is now undergoing medical checkup and treatment in a hospital in Kaduna. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Cherry news for the family. Now, just weeks after its formation and official launch, the Katsina Community Watch Corps has come under fire for high-handedness and extrajudicial killings by residents in Zakka district of Safana local government area of Katsina State. Now, community members have alleged the targeting and killing of former council chairman by operatives of the state security outfit. Abdullahi Amadi reports.
Briefing newsmen in Katsina recently, the family of the deceased condemned the killing of their breadwinner and called for thorough investigation into the matter. The family is demanding for justice for late Hamza Zakka An immediate investigation into the alleged extrajudicial killings by members of the State Security Watch Corps. Jamila Hamza, one of the wives of the deceased, while narrating her ordeal, alleged that members of the Security Watch Corps were overheard when they were planning to kill her husband.
When I learned about their plans to kill my husband, I rushed home and asked him what was going on between him and the members of Security Watch Corps in Zakar town, and he said he knew nothing. He was, however, advised to take refuge elsewhere, which he did, but they surrounded his friend's house, abducted and killed him in less than 30 minutes.
Few minutes after, it was reported to the family that Hamza Zakar was allegedly shot dead by the State Watch Corps members, insinuating that he was an informant to bandits. All we're saying is let there be justice, and we believe you cannot have justice without thorough investigation. Our brother was killed without any investigation. He was killed without committing any crime. We want the government to investigate. When Trust TV News asked some residents of Zakar town on the issue, they said there were serious allegations of deep involvement of Hamza Zakar into activities of banditry over the past 6 years. Hamza Zakar, a prominent politician in Safana local government, left behind 4 wives, 25 children, and siblings. Reacting to the briefing with newsmen by the family of the deceased, some Zakar residents say the claims of extrajudicial killings by the Community Security Watch Corps is unfounded, false, and baseless, calling on all well-meaning citizens of Katsina State to disregard it. You see, whatever anybody is going to tell you about the deceased is a lie, because Hamza Zakar was alleged to have been an accomplice to bandits. Many people have been killed in Zakar town and its environs. Public affairs commentators believe that in dealing with complicated security situations like banditry, residents must exercise caution and allow law to take its natural course. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, the fallout from the botched NLC protest in Imo State continues to generate reactions as the organized labor calls for an investigation into the matter. The NLC president, Joe Ajero, was at the center of the development following his detention by the police. Noel Sampson reports.
The events of November 4th, 2023 in Imo State sent shockwaves across the country as the NLC raised alarm over the purported arrest of its president, Joe Ajero. The circumstances around development is still being contested as the police and the Imo State government deny their involvement in the physical attacks on the NLC president, labor unions, journalists, and others. The organized labor has now passed some resolutions in the aftermath of the Imo incident.
We are worried that it has come criminal for workers in Nigeria to gather for a peaceful protest where Section 40 of the Nigeria Constitution and the International Convention like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the African Chapter on Human and People's Rights, including ILO Convention 87 and 98, guarantees the right to freedom of association and the right to bargaining collectively.
The area command of the Nigerian Police Force and all other officers and men in Owerri, through whom the police commissioner supervised the brutalization and humiliation of Comrade Ajero and other workers, be relieved of his office and stripped of its commission. We further resolve that in the events the government failed to comply with any or all the conditions above stated, NLC, TUC, and their affiliates will no longer guarantee industrial peace and harmony in Nigeria beginning Wednesday, 8th of November 2023, while a joint National Executive Council, NEC, meeting of the two labor centers will meet to decide the next course of action.
While reiterating their commitment to the welfare and well-being of workers in Nigeria, the organized labor leaders clarified their intentions to support Imo State workers as the motivation behind the protest, while the unions deny allegations of partisan motivations.
Not political. We don't interfere or campaign for any politician or political parties in Imo State. That was not our intention, and it will never be our intention.
The unions acknowledged the role of the National Security Advisor in de-escalating the matter by facilitating the release of the NLC president from police custody. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Justice Okeke of the Federal High Court in Ibadan has ordered the remand of two suspects in connection with an assault charge on customs officials in Oyo State. The suspects were accused of shooting a customs officer during a routine inspection at Tapa in Igbarapa area of Oyo State. The case has been adjourned until 24th and 25th of January 2024 as counsel for the two defendants applied for their bail.
We believe they should not be granted bail, and we have stated our reasons in our own counter affidavit before the court. So on the dates, the application will come up most likely before the 24th and the 25th. Because if you were in the court, if you listen, the court was saying that if the papers are ready, they can come before the time, so that the application could be taken.
When you charge to court, you will be made known of the offense against you, which will be read to you clearly and to your understanding. Having pleaded to it, whether you are guilty or not guilty, so the court will go ahead and the application for bail will be made.
The Ogun State Police Command said it has arrested one Afolabi Taiwo, a suspected cultist terrorizing the Abioro community in the Sango-Ota area of the state. The public relations officer of the command, Omolola Odutola, disclosed this in a statement on Friday. Odutola said that Taiwo was arrested while trying to launch an attack on a member of the community who raised the alarm. Odutola added that Taiwo confessed to being a member of the dreaded Eye confraternity, stressing that efforts are ongoing to arrest other members of the group. She stated that the arrest was made through collaboration with the Ogun State Social Orientation and Safety Corps. Justice O. Adeniji of the High Court in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has ordered the immediate and unconditional release of the immediate past governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, from the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Thursday. The judge gave the order following a motion ex parte by Emefiele's legal team ruling on the application. Justice Adeniji ordered the unconditional release of Emefiele from detention forthwith, or in the alternative produce him in court on the date fixed for hearing of the substantive motion on notice for purpose of being admitted to bail by the court. The EFCC arrested Emefiele on October 27, immediately after his release from the custody of the Department of State Services, where he had been kept since June 10. The embattled ex-CBN boss has been embroiled in legal matters since his removal from office by President Bola Tinubu. The Independent National Electoral Commission has assured residents of Imo State of their early arrival at polling units on the day of election. The Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Sylvia Agu, stated this while addressing journalists on their total readiness to conduct the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Correspondent Ajibade Praise reports.
Late arrival of materials at polling unit was one of the major hitches experienced in the last general elections. The problem has been there, and it is hoped that it won't resurface in the November 11th governorship election. INEC is giving assurances that all the era of late arrival at polling units is now a thing of the past.
We are very prepared to ensure that our materials get to the PUs at exact before 8:30 a.m. will start. We are very prepared. We don't anticipate any hitches, any glitches this time around because we have made adequate arrangements.
Speaking further, Sylvia Agu said, the major cause of the menace is always shortage of transportation logistics, and they have sorted it out early enough with the leadership of the National Road Transport Union workers.
We have activated all the RACs and super RACs, and the aim is to aid us in early deployments. That is the reason for activating RACs, to ensure that we deploy quite early. We have also engaged with the transporters. We have been engaging with them, and they will have a different arrangement now, all in a bid to ensure that we deploy early.
It is less than 10 days to the governorship election in the state. Deployments geared towards a hitch-free poll are being concluded, and it is expected that they will live up to expectation as promised. At Jibadi Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has admonished leaders to strive for stability and development of the nation. The former president made the call in Bayelsa State at the 2023 edition of the Bayelsa State Annual Thanksgiving Service held at the Ecumenical Center in Yenagoa. Trust TV's correspondent, Friday Ebemoboe Peter, reports.
Former president, in his usual fashion, is advocating good governance and socio-economic development of the people. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo observed the importance of continuity in Bayelsa, noting that it's critical towards sustainable development.
We are not perfect, but we are always, and that must be our aim, always striving for perfection. For what God is doing for Bayelsa State. And if what we have happening here is replicated in all other states of Nigeria, then we will say we have a good country.
Bayelsa State Governor Doye Duri said the essence of government is addressing the needs of the people as he appreciates God Almighty for the unity, peace, and prosperity of the people.
And everybody says, Bayelsa is improving. Bayelsa is developing. The peace we're enjoying, the security we're enjoying is because we have agreed to come together to live in peace and in unity. Ordinarily, we are all mortals. We can offend each other, but whether we're able to forgive ourselves, forget about the past, and always move forward. That's all.
The guest preacher, Pastor Lazarus Moka of the Lost Chosen, while speaking on the theme, Blessed Are You, reading from number 22:1, said, Bayelsa State is blessed state, which is the reason for the relative peace enjoyed in the state. In his goodwill message, the senator representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District, Senator Henry Saraki Dixon, says Bayelsans have every cause to thank God despite the economic situation of the country.
He has blessed this land with great mineral resources. He has blessed this land with such as oil, gas, and sea, with all blessings. He has blessed this land with peace and unity.
We must be here to join all of you, and with all of you, join our governor and the government of our states to give thanks to God. So today, I want to thank all of you for coming. I can see our state is peaceful. I can see, as you all know, that we are on a steady course of development.
Several prayers were offered for Bayelsa State for peaceful conduct of the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Friday, Ebemoboe Peter, Trust TV News, Yenagoa.
The House of Representatives Committee on Population has pledged to work with relevant stakeholders to to ensure a smooth conduct of census in the country. Committee Chairman Jimmy Odimayo made the pledge at the inaugural meeting of the committee on Thursday in Abuja. He said that the committee has a mandate to ensure comprehensive and effective national policy on the nation's population statistics and demographic data. The chairman says that developing strategies for the implementation of policies, including financing from local and foreign sources, is part of the committee's mandate.
The census budget and census preparation, they've gone over 80%. So for you or for anyone to say that that should just go by the way, it is highly unacceptable.
We believe in Nigeria, if we need to cut costs, we have to merge the two together. So it's a very big task also. If we are maintaining only NIMSI, where we can be able to count all the population, the people of Nigeria, that can be done through NIMSI as well.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, Maiduguri residents lament over availability of cash in circulation. Details and more after the break.
As a demonstration of its commitment to provide sustained access to basic healthcare for all Nigerians, the federal government of Nigeria, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, has established the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF. The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is designed to deploy operations fund directly to primary healthcare facilities in every political ward nationwide to ensure the availability of quality PHC services to all Nigerians, irrespective of where they live or work. The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund guarantees 24 hours availability of midwives, other health workers, and health supplies in at least one PHC in every political ward. Ask from your local government health department for the BHCPF PHC in your ward to get more information and benefit from the services. Think access to healthcare for all. Think universal health coverage. Think Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Health and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA. For further inquiries, call the NPHCDA toll-free number 7722 or visit www.nphcda.gov.ng.
The early history of human existence can be traced to the heart of northern Nigeria. Here, archaeologists found evidence of a group of people who sculpted clay and developed tools to smelt iron. The local artifacts tell the tale of skilled craftsmen. Evidence of ironworking and tools date from roughly the 7th century BCE at Taruga, near Abuja. The fertile lands around the Kaduna River provided the perfect settlement for this thriving civilization. This is the area largely referred to as the Nak culture. Red-colored earthenware sculptures called terracotta were found within a 500-kilometer radius of Taruga.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories. Student of Bethel High School regains freedom 2 years after abduction. Gunmen abduct 2 siblings in Abuja. Now, to some more stories. President Bola Tinubu has expressed appreciation to France for the return of $150 million stolen from Nigeria by former head of state, General Sani Abacha. In addition to the recovery of another tranche of Abacha loot, the president acknowledged the signing of a 100 million euros agreement between Nigeria and France to support the IDICE program, which is a federal government initiative to promote investment in information and communications technology and creative arts industries. The agreement was signed by the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Technology, Bosun Tijani, and the French Minister of Europe and Foreign Affairs in Abuja. The president, while emphasizing the need to reinforce collaboration on both political and economic fronts, welcomed growing cooperation between the two countries in areas of shared interest, such as climate change, economic integration, education, and culture. The Plateau State High Court, presided over by Justice D.G. Fombing, has on Friday ordered the remand of 3 persons at Jos Correctional Center in connection with organ harvesting charges. The suspects were arraigned before Justice D.G. Fombing at the State High Court 9 by the State Director of Public Prosecution, Barrister David Williams. Ado Musa report.
This is Noah Kekere stepping into the courtroom before the commencement of the hearing. The case of organ harvesting has captured the imagination of the public across. Kekere was arrested by the police following an alleged removal of the right kidney of one Mrs. Kende Kamaru while conducting appendectomy at his Murna Clinic and Maternity. Arraigning the suspect before Justice Fombin, the state prosecutor in the 4-count charge accused the suspect of criminal conspiracy, culpable homicide, causing grievous hurt, and removing, selling, and trafficking of the kidney of Mrs. Kende Kamaru. The charges, according to the prosecutor, are contrary to Section 58 and punishable under Section 59 and 108, subsection 1 of the Plateau State Penal Code Law 2017.
The matter has just been adjourned to 18 and 19 for accelerated hearing of the case before the defendants. What just transpired in court is that basically they were just arraigned on a 4-count charge by the people of Plateau State against the 3 defendants, and we equally moved their bail applications. Their bail application was moved and argued in court, and equally the court has adjourned for ruling on their bail application. That's what happened in court today.
Okay, we represent 3 defendants who were arraigned this morning, and we came to secure their bail in terms of the provisions of the Constitution. The Constitution presumes every accused person as innocent until he is proven guilty. So we are exercising their constitutional right by approaching the court and seeking that they be admitted on bail. That's what we did this morning.
Fombin, after the submissions of the counsels, reserved ruling on the bail application and order for the remand of the accused persons at the Jos Correctional Center, pending the determination of the hearing on the bail application. The judge slated 18 and 19 January for hearing on the substantive suit. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi, has granted pardon to 53 inmates standing trial for various offences at the Port Harcourt Maximum Correctional Centre. The exercise is part of the activities outlined to kick off the 2023-2024 legal year in the state, as well as being a move to decongest the Maximum Correctional Centre in Port Harcourt. Justice Amadi said that the exercise is also in compliance with the provisions of Section 34, subsection 1 of the Criminal Justice Law of Rivers State and the Special Provision Acts of the Laws of the Federation, which empowers the Chief Judge to visit correctional centers to ascertain the number of inmates in custody, their duration, of stay and determining those deserving of a pardon. Justice Amadi also called on the police to be thorough in their investigations before charging suspects to court. In his remarks, the controller of the State Correctional Service, Felix Lawrence, commended the criminal justice system administration in the state for effectively decongesting the Port Harcourt Maximum Correctional Service. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says it has concluded investigations on suspected homosexuals arrested in connection with plans to contract same-sex marriages. Now, the NSCDC in October arrested 76 individuals in Gombe metropolis on suspicion of homosexual activities. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail has an update.
The arrest of the suspected homosexuals has generated public interest beyond Gombe State as the NSCDC unravels the suspected same-sex activities. So far, the Gombe State Command of the NSCDC has confirmed the release of 55 individuals that have been cleared of wrongdoing. The NSCDC, after conducting medical examinations and other investigations, has found evidence linking 21 suspects to transgender and homosexual activities.
Investigation is ongoing. You know, at each stage, we need to satisfy the finding, the records, and what to be tendered to court or before court are intact. And as God will have it, we virtually arrested virtually everyone within the scenario of the event. You know, that one is normal. Before we come back to office and filter those that are directly involved and those that are not directly involved.
Speaking on the changing societal value system, the commandant identified parental gaps and other vices as factors responsible for the rise in homosexual acts. Gombe State government, in reaction to the development, constituted a committee of religious leaders, human rights activists, and the judiciary with a mandate to unravel the facts of the matter. We are not delivering a judgment on this matter. We can recommend for them to be taken to court, but we can't preempt the court. Although investigations are still ongoing, it remains to be seen how the outcome will determine the fate of the suspect, as same-sex marriage remains illegal in Nigeria. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The impact of deforestation is disrupting agriculture value chain as pastoralists in Gombe decry its effect on the livestock industry. Herders in Wawazangi Grazing Reserve say that despite its 140,000 hectares, the reserve is losing its value due to increased activities of deforestation. The report.
Grazing reserves are areas set aside for the use of pastoralists and are intended to be the focus of livestock development. For decades, the Wawazangi Grazing Reserve has been the lifeline for pastoralists in northern Gombe, providing the needed ecosystem for animal husbandry. But the once lush reserve is now being encroached by people in search of wood. This encroachment is causing a massive deforestation of the 140,000 hectares. We used to impound trucks of the woodcutters. Their activities will cause desert encroachment and flooding in the forest. Cutting down trees has been our problem for a long time. People use the wood for cooking, and they also make charcoal. We normally track the perpetrators. Nigeria's energy crisis is worsening living conditions, with many households turning to firewood for their everyday needs. This trend according to environmentalists, will have negative impact on the ecosystem.
Cutting down of trees continuously has resulted to a situation whereby the soil, by the time we receive rainfall from the Almighty Allah, will absorb the percentage that of its own sequestering capacity, and we'll find ourselves in a situation whereby we don't have that green cover to absorb that much remaining percentage that need to be absorbed by those covers, trees inclusive. That is why we are having continuous challenges of flood disaster. You have greater portion of water going as runoff instead of the negligible percentage of it.
The Gombe state government has embarked on a reforestation drive by planting 4 million trees through the Gombe Goes Green project. However, the deforestation activities at the Wawazange Grazing Reserve remains a threat to the survival of pastoralists in the state. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now, on cost of living, Nigeria's economic downturn continues to impact negatively on the living conditions of millions of Nigerians as price of everyday goods continue to skyrocket. Now, price of goods like sachet water, commonly known as pure water, have become unreasonably high as residents of Asaba, the Delta State capital, decry the sudden hike. Trust TV's Jonathan Awanyai reports.
The consumers expressed their dismay over the increase in prices from 20 naira to 15 naira per sachet, while the bag now sells for 400 naira as against the old price of 300 naira.
I go buy 150 naira because you don't reach me eat the food. Very well, I don't know for start. After I walk on my body, they hot, no to drink water. I don't know what I have to go down. Very, very bad. Even honest, I don't build furniture. As I said, 350 naira furniture. That's our own different.
Pure water 150 naira. Some people they not get the money to buy them. But the truth we say, make the government make them try, make them do something about it, make the pure water reduce or normal price where they sell them before.
Others urge the state government to take urgent steps against the increment for the sake of the masses.
I need to call them or the producer so that they will know what to do for the pure water business, because the thing is getting more high every time. It's not like this before. So government will need to take care of them to know what is going on.
Terrible. Even we that's learning work self, we cannot afford common pure water anymore. So we don't understand this kind of country we are now. Nobody knows where the carry us they go.
Some producers of sachet water who spoke off camera said the increase in price is caused by rising production costs, which have negatively impacted their operations. Jonathan Awanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum has inspected 1,000 housing projects at Logumani and Gajibo communities of Ngala and Dikwa local government areas. Both communities were significantly destroyed by Boko Haram insurgents, displacing residents since 2014. At Logumani, where 500 houses are being constructed, Zulum expressed confidence that the ongoing work will be completed and people will be resettled in 2 months. The governor noted that the construction comprises basic amenities such as a primary school, health center, police station, and deep aquifer borehole meant for the provision of water to the community. At Gajibo, another community in Dikwa local government area where the construction of another 500 houses is ongoing, Zulum ordered that the project should be completed in 3 months to allow residents to return home. There is a growing concern among members of public in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, that cash in circulation is becoming increasingly scarce as residents and business owners complain of lack of access. Although the central bank has assured Nigerians of adequate liquidity, the situation in Maiduguri is reminiscent of the cash crunch in late 2022. Trust TV's Bitrus Kuruti has the report.
The mild cash crunch in Maiduguri metropolis is causing unease among residents as many fear a repeat of last year's experience when the central bank rolled out its monetary policy. The unusual naira scarcity is unsettling businesses as available cash is running out with demand increasing by the day. Even point-of-sale operators are unable to augment the shortfall of available cash in circulation.
We used to go to local government because local government they are having more cash than us. So we used to go to local government to search for money and come back to it into Maiduguri right now here. Like even today, I even went to the one of local government before I get the cash. Based on my perception, I did not hear anything about this scarcity of naira. They only say that it's December, but government has not talked about old note or new note up to now. It's just people that they have started hiding the new note. That's the reason why scarcity here in Maiduguri is too much than any place.
Some residents speak on how the current situation is disrupting their activities on a day-to-day basis.
Because this cash, now as I come here now to look for cash, I even asked for 10,000. They even said that I should pay 10,500. I don't know what will happen. I even tell and say, make you collect 10,300. He say, you know, collect 10,300. Voila, we are suffering because of this cash.
Like yesterday, what can I say? I do market like 120,000, but the thing waiting for my pocket is just only 3,000 to buy food for our house. And I don't get cash. The kind of people where I suffer for buying all those cheap and where I will do for my house because all those local people where they are selling something do not want to collect transfer.
We even ask our friends that they are used to work at the bank. They say that the bank people, the problem that they are facing now, CBN they are not giving them cash because they don't know the actual. They didn't talk about the actual time where they will change their money. That old money.
There are fears that the scarcity might be connected to the deadline of the old naira notes issued by the Supreme Court, which would take effect by December. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. We'll take a quick break. More news after, shortly. Join us again.
Hello and welcome to Creative Lounge on Trust TV. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello and I'm going to be taking you through my journey as an artist.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. And the naira has risen to 1,120 against the dollar as the foreign exchange market reacts to news of the Central Bank of Nigeria commencing clearance of some of its FX backlog on Thursday. This represents an appreciation of 50 naira or 4.27% compared to the 1,170 it traded for on Wednesday. Currency traders, also known as Bureau de Change operators, say that the naira is recovering well after making a quick recovery from 1,170 to the dollar in the morning to close trading at 1,120 naira to the dollar. Now, according to statistics of the Central Bank of Nigeria, federal government's oil revenue target for May dropped from 804 billion naira to 223 billion naira, representing about 72% reduction in federal earnings. According to the report, oil revenue at 223 billion naira for May was 36% below receipts in the preceding month and below the monthly target of 804 billion naira. The observed shortfall in oil revenue, according to CBN, was driven mainly by lower receipts from petroleum profit tax and royalties. The report also added that gross federation earnings dropped as a result of lower oil and non-oil receipts. On the foreign scene, Rwanda has announced plans to allow Africans travel visa-free to the country, becoming the latest nation on the continent to announce such measure aimed at boosting free movement of people and trade to rival Europe's Schengen zone. President Paul Kagame made the announcement on Thursday in the Rwandan capital, Kigali, where he pitched the potential of Africa as a unified tourism destination for a continent that still relies on 60% of its tourists from outside Africa, according to data from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Once implemented, Rwanda will become the fourth African country to remove travel restrictions for Africans. Other countries on the list include Gambia, Benin, and Seychelles. Now, Kenya's President William Ruto announced plans to allow all Africans to travel to the East African nation visa-free by December 31. Still on the foreign scene, one of the 5 U.S. police officers charged in the beating to death of a young African-American man in the southern city of Memphis pleaded guilty Thursday, the Justice Department announced. Body cam footage of the January incident showed the officers, who are all black, repeatedly kicking and punching Ty Nichols, 29, during a traffic stop close to his home in Memphis. Nichols died in a hospital 3 days later. Now, the guilty plea by Desmond Mills comes as part of a settlement of pending state and federal charges and marks a course reversal, given that he had pleaded not guilty along with the other 4 officers in February when they appeared in court in Tennessee. An Israeli air raid has killed a journalist working for the Palestinian Authority's television channel, as well as 10 family members. Palestine TV accused Israel of carrying out a deliberate assassination of Mohammed Abu Hattab as it bombed his family home in Gaza's Khan Yunis in the south of the territory. Sources at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis said that at least 11 people were killed in the strike. The statement said that an airstrike hit Abu Hattab's apartment shortly after his arrival. Now, let's take a look at sports updates put together by Emmanuel Fashimi.
Nigeria Super Eagles defender Chidozie Awazim has been nominated for his club Boa Vista October Player of the Month award. Awazim, who just returned from a successful loan spell with Croatian Premier League giants Hajduk Split, has been in superb form. The Super Eagles player brilliant performance in October gave him an edge to be selected for October Player of the Month. Sebastian Perez and striker Robert Bolzinic are other nominees for the club prestigious award. Boa Vista occupies the 6th position on the Portuguese Premier League table with 15 points after 9 games. The hopes of Belgian KRC Genk has been ruined after UEFA upheld the suspension of Tolu Arokodare for their important Conference League clash against Ferencvaros. Arokodare was shown red against the same opponent in their match day 3 encounter, and all efforts by KRC Genk to overturn the red card was rejected by European Football Association UEFA on Thursday. The European Football Governing Body further announced that Arokodare will serve a compulsory 1-match suspension. His absence will not favor Genk as he scored in 2 successive games for them. And that is it on sports. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.
With that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight. In case you've missed, you can always catch up across all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ile. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.